We are back with Jonathan Walton. After being scammed out of $100,000 by his best friend and finding out she was a con artist, he wrote the book Anatomy of a Con Artist, The 14 Red Flags to Spot Scammers, Grifters, and Thieves. These warnings are based on the hundreds of cases he's investigated over the past 8 years. And they don't have to be as grand as yours. Others have been much more grand, right? We look at even Ponzi schemes, the whole Bernie Madoff situation.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just that person is just always sucking you dry like a vampire.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about grooming in the sex trafficking trade. This is a form of grooming too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, get you to like them, respect them even, and trust them.
Yeah.
And then you feel an obligation to them. That's where you really get into trouble because you feel like I'm not worthy, and then I'm going to give them a chance, they're going to give you a chance to prove that you're worthy.
Yeah.
They're
great at manipulating, using human nature against us.
Right, right.
That's what they excel at.
Yeah, okay, so, and we touched on some of these red flags before, but I'm going to go deeper into them. So I just want to help. When a stranger is like, your friends and family don't want to help you, but this stranger you just met is like, but no, I can help you with that.
Right,
Let me help you.
right. And it's very powerful because you meet this new person, they're so kind. Remember, con artists are kind and charismatic and loving. You just could be a new boyfriend, new girlfriend, you're on your first date, they figure out what you're lacking and they become that. They want to help you.
They fill your holes.
Who doesn't love a helper?
Yeah.
We all love helpers.
Yeah.
So you feel indebted to them very quickly. But the help is fake. There is no help.
Right.
They're just dangling the idea of help.
Yeah, all right. Red flag number 2. Too kind too quickly, right?
They all do this. They're going to wine and dine you. They're going to lavish you with gifts. They're going to offer to watch your kids or walk your dog or do you favors. They're too kind too quick. They want to get in because they want you to like them. Ideally, they want you to love them.
Yeah.
Because when you love someone, you'll do anything.
Yeah. Did you ever question that kindness?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't question it until I found her in the first lie. And then I started questioning everything.
Yeah.
But up until that point, I bought the whole thing, hook, line, and sinker for 4 years.
Yeah.
I thought I was helping an Irish heiress get her inheritance.
Okay, the other red flag, drama. That person who's always got something crazy going on, they need your help with.
And this is by the time they've gotten you to care about them or care about whatever situation they've created. Listen, bad things happen to people all the time.
Right.
But 20 bad things don't happen to the same person at the same time.
In 24 hours. No.
Right. No, truly. There's a car accident, there's cancer, your father died, your kids, like all these bad dramatic events, they're meant to throw you off kilter.
Things that you have to feel sorry for her for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're like, oh my gosh, that's horrible, right?
Yeah, she told some people she had cancer. For me, she said she had lupus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she had low blood iron, so she'd get admitted to the hospital to treat low blood iron, but she'd take a picture of her in a hospital bed and send it to me and say, I have lupus, and send it to other people and say, I'm getting cancer treatment.
Now here's the deal with the isolation you talked about. If all of y'all started talking to each other, it'd be like, intervention, which is it, right?
Exactly. But isolation, that's another red flag. They want to get you away from people who would talk you out of going along with a con.
Yeah, like believing that don't talk to the other neighbor, that neighbor's dangerous. All right. The other red flag, eventually it turns into, I'm better than you. This sounds like the red flags of an abusive relationship.
I mean, it's very similar. Yeah. A con artist needs you to believe that they are better than you. Yeah. They want you to think, they want you to feel lucky to know them.
Yeah.
They want you to feel like they're the best. They'll start bragging about themselves.
Put you in a servitude mode.
Absolutely. You're so lucky to know me. I did this great thing and that great thing and this great thing.
And I come from this
family.
And I come from
this, absolutely. They want you to feel less than, and they want you to feel fortunate to know them.
Yeah, and going into the psychology of this, you kind of say, is a psychopath born or made? Oftentimes, if you go back to, actually with all of us, if you go back to the playground and you look at all of us, you see glimpses of what we're going to be when we grow up one day, right?
Absolutely.
Oftentimes, when you look back at professional conners,
right.
Not somebody who just borrowed money for you and didn't pay it back because they didn't have the money to pay it back. We're talking about people who conned you out of stuff. You can see characteristics of that. If you have this child, get him some help. But go through some of those things that people recognize.
Well, listen, you, Deborah Duncan, in your infinite wisdom, you hit it on the nose. Yes, I heard from a childhood friend of my con artist who knew her at 10 years old, was tricking her, going into strangers' homes, telling her it was her home, trying on a stranger's clothes, telling it was her sister's clothes. Like, they could have been busted. And the girl, the woman now talked to me, is like, why would she do that? I'm like, because she enjoys making stuff up.
Yeah.
Con artists get a godlike sense of joy from creating worlds that do not exist and watching all of us do exactly what they want us to do.
That truly narcissistic thing. Like a lot of those kids, they stood out as cold and uncaring, not empathetic or sympathetic at all. And that part of that brain just wasn't firing. And it's why people may not have been able to verbalize why they didn't like a certain kid.
Right.
But that's part of the reason why they didn't like a certain kid.
Yeah.
All right. The other red flag is the use of technology, and that's become that's a whole nother level today.
It is a whole nother level, especially with AI. But if the person is waving some of these red flags already, they're too kind, too quick, they're offering to help, there's a lot of drama, and now they're using digital screens. Like, look at this email, look at this text, look at my bank balance, look at this certificate. They're using their phone, their laptop, their iPad to back up what they're saying.
Voice-changing apps even.
Oh, those are terrifying. Voice-changing apps, yeah, that's a whole other genre. But be suspicious if they're always grabbing their phone to prove something to you.
Yeah, all right, because their word's not going to be just good enough for it.
Exactly.
Especially when you start questioning, it's like, oh, no, take a look.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, seeing is believing. We still have that issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is scarcity. And we see that in those cons where it's like, you got to get it now before it's gone.
Yeah, a lot of cases I investigate, a lot of investments, this company's IPO is going to go public on Friday and I can get you in, but I need $25,000 before Friday.
Yeah, and
so
I was
now
wondering, why wouldn't you take it all for yourself? Why do you want to get me in? You barely know me, right? Yeah.
But again, and I say this, con artists don't outsmart you, they outfeel you. Greed is a powerful, powerful feeling.
Yeah.
So now you're thinking, I can turn $25,000 into $1 million with this IPO in 6 months. I got to find it. And that rush to get the money distracts you.
Yeah, and how that money is sent. I have a friend who's in the real estate business, and there was an email sent to one of her clients, and it said, hey, go ahead and wire the down payment here. But it had all the people's logos, the company's logo, the mortgage company's logo, all that stuff was there. And he goes, oh, okay. But she always says, do not ever wire anything. You show up here with a cashier's check, and we want a physical cashier's check. Do not ever. Once you wire it, 99.999%
unless you
of the
catch
time.
it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If in 5 minutes you call the bank and said that was a mistake, I'm getting conned, they can stop and get the money back in a couple weeks. But that's a big red flag I write about. Wires. Do not send wires. If someone's asking you to wire them money, take a step back. Are there any other red flags waving? If there were 2 or 3, do not send that wire. Send a check. Why do you got to send a wire? Come on.
Exactly. All right. You mentioned beak wetting, which is kind of like just wetting the whistle.
Give me a little up front.
Yeah. And then and then the thing that's kind of interesting that throws people off is you're like, why would they do that? They have a great job.
Oh, and that's a big misdirect, right? Professional con artists have a great job.
Or at least they say they do sometimes.
No,
right?
they do.
Yeah.
There's a case I've investigated that I write about in the book where the con artist works in the mayor's office.
Oh.
She's got a legit job with the mayor.
It makes sense because you know what? They have access to the right people.
Yes, they're scamming vulnerable people, and it's always a case of she said, he said, or she said, and everyone believes the mayor's aide. Nobody believes the victim.
But access to people, good people, but really it's access to people who may have the funds that they need too, right?
Yes. So just because someone has a good job doesn't mean they're not a con artist.
Yeah. Okay, we talked about wire transfers, which is one of your other red flags. And then the other one is they move around a lot without excuse. Now, I'm just going to point it out there. I went to 5 elementary schools.
Right. Well,
and
if you're
we're in the journalism business too, right?
Yes.
So we do move
there
a
are
lot,
exceptions.
Naturally.
The majority of regular people will live a total of 11 places in their entire life, 11 addresses.
Yeah.
That's the majority of people.
Yeah.
My con artist, by the time they arrested her, she had 46 addresses. 46. Con artists move around a lot because they have to.
With all kinds of really different jobs. It's like, wait, you went to law school and medical school, and you went to some of the other red flags, stories from faraway places.
Oh, that's a staple, stories from faraway places.
Listen, you can't verify it.
You can't, and human nature being what it is, and again, they're experts at using our human nature against us. If you can, I was on the Olympic team in 1982 in France. Okay, do I know off the top of my head if that's true or not? No. So if we can't prove it's false, we just accept it.
Yeah, and then of course, too much information. They confess deep, dark secrets to you.
And this is how they keep their victims quiet.
They keep them quiet, but they also, I think, when you confess their deepest, darkest secrets, now you're a closer friend of mine.
That's
we
the trick.
are like
Absolutely.
this, right?
It's very powerful.
And then the Dale Carnegie technique, which I love a good Dale Carnegie class, but every con artist studies Dale Carnegie, how to win friends and influence people.
Yes, that's their college.
All right. And then, I want to. And quickly, I want to round out with getting the police to take on your case, because it is tough to do.
It is.
You have to do a lot of homework like you did before.
You do, yeah. And police turned me away initially, and I was naive at the time. But now I have learned, I've investigated hundreds of cases, and I help victims who police turn away get a report taken and an investigation started. Pitching a criminal case to police is like pitching a television show to a network executive.
Yeah.
You got to make it sexy.
Yeah, and document.
You got to Vanna White all your evidence. You got to rehearse it.
You explain some of this in your book. Okay, before we go, for old time's sake, we want to go back 20 years or so. Yeah, all right. And he had dark hair at one time. Now it's gray. Ron Trevino, come on out here.
Ron Trevino! I was texting you.
It's like we're going into a time machine. Jonathan Walton, our small mind at large.
Oh my God!
Our small mind at large.
Yes. Okay, shall we take a look back?
Oh, let's take a look back.
Let's go.
It's time now to check in with our small mind at large.
And he's a player.
Okay. Top of the morning to you here tonight. I'm Jonathan Walton. Here now is a sneak peek of what will be orbiting Walton's world this morning.
I don't want ants in my pants.
Yeah.
I just want to play the game. Can I finish, Larry? Can I finish? That's my Ross Perot impression.
Very good.
Or you can give yourself a facial. It has a funky smell.
Front trigger.
Good times, good times.
We had so much fun.
You look the same, Jonathan.
Do I?
Yes,
Well,
I mean, my hair has gone gray. Your hair
Dude,
is
I was going to
still
say,
gone.
you look like. But look at Deborah Duncan. My
20
gosh.
years, 20 extra years.
She has not aged either.
She has not. I want to know who's your
The fountain
what
of
your
youth.
deal is.
It's DNA. It's all
It's
DNA.
I want some of that DNA.
What are you doing? Y'all, thank you so much,
Thank
Jonathan,
you. It's
for
a
that.
surreal for me. We're back.
Yeah,
We got
this
the
is
band back
this is
together.
this is gonna be a movie. This
We're
is gonna
going
be
to
a movie,
number
right?
one.
That's right. You can get a copy of Jonathan's book, Anatomy of a Con Artist: The 14 Red Flags to Spot Scammers, Grifters, and Thieves, wherever books are sold.